Hello everyone and welcome to Optimize FPL. We're going to be taking a look back at last week's results, trying to figure out what we're going to do for next week, try to understand the double game weeks and any players that are potentially going to be missing out this coming game week. So yeah, let's quickly look back at what happened and get into the transfers that we're going to have to make. Okay, so to quickly summarize my defense, it was absolutely terrible times for us in defense. I mean, the only person that had scored any points was Cancelo, and that was just a clean sheet against Brentford, which was not that surprising. James went off injured, sounds like he's going to be out for a while. Rudiger also getting a yellow card and conceding in like the 90th minute against Brighton, which was fantastic. Ben Davies also conceding to Southampton, and it's just one goals taking away all of our points for every single game. I can't even remember the Liverpool game. They also conceded. Oh right, they were playing Leicester and they lost. They actually ended up losing that game 1-0, which I do like to see because I do have a big bet on Leicester getting 10th place in the Premier League this season. But that's beside the point. Yeah, anyways, very poor defensive showing, but luckily our forwards really saved us this week. Midfield and forward, sorry. And yeah, let's move on to them because it's a lot better and a lot more interesting. So in the end, we did end up bringing Son in for Foden. I know that was probably a mistake considering it was a -4, but you take the good with the bad. I thought it was a good move for long term, especially with the double game weeks coming up. Um, Unfortunately, it did come to be a mistake. I mean, obviously Foden could have easily been offside for that goal he scored, but we see that he wasn't offside, obviously, and he got the goal and he ended up getting 11 points, which if we had captained him instead of Son, which we did end up captaining, we would have been on 22 points instead of 12 points, so it's about a 10-point miss there. Also, we brought in De Gea for Ramsdale, so yeah, we lost -4 on those two, but I don't know, I thought it was a good transfer overall. Bowen doing very well in their game, though, getting 3 assists, which was absolutely insane against Watford. Got all 3 bonus points. Was very nice to see. I'm very happy I brought him back in. I think it was a good time to bring him back in, especially with double game weeks coming up, like I said before. And their fixture's just really good. I mean, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Watford, Leicester. It's looking pretty good. Jota, unfortunate, not to get on the score sheet. I mean, Leicester were a lot better defensively than they were against Man City, which was surprising considering it was very similar defense. But yeah, Liverpool just couldn't get through him. And yeah, Salah actually, thank God for his performance at this game week, getting 0 points. A lot of people captained him, so that definitely helped boost our rank. Yeah, let's move on to our forwards. Okay, so as we can see, Ronaldo also doing very well in his game against Burnley, getting a goal and an assist, which is very nice to see. Antonio only getting the assist, but we still like that because it's still points. But yeah, Ronaldo was my captain until probably like the last minute because I was worried. The more I thought about it, the more I thought that a potential postponement was possible. So I thought that since Burnley mentioned that it was the last game of the week, I decided to put the captaincy on Son because I knew he was playing. It's the first game of the game week, so there's no chance that he was going to miss it. Um, Obviously, I could have just done Ronaldo captain, Son vice captain, but I just didn't want to take the risk of that because I thought Son would do well in this game. He did. He got an assist for the Harry Kane goal. But yeah, obviously Ronaldo would have been a better captain. We live and we learn. It's unfortunate, but yeah, very good performance overall from our forwards. Defense, not so much, and we're going to have to make some transfers because James did end up getting injured, and he is not going to be playing for a couple months. Sounds like, and we'll talk about a couple other things that happened. Bench was all players that ended up missing out this game week. All their games got postponed. Brownhill's the most recent one to be postponed was against Everton. His got postponed last minute, so all of our goalkeepers and bench players just had no games or didn't play, so no big deal. Luckily, everybody on our pitch played, so it was all good. The predicted score for this game week was 64.3. We did not get quite there. We got to 59 points, but -4 because of the -4 I did to bring in Son, which was probably a mistake. Our overall points now take us to 1,270, which is pretty decent. We're still averaging over 60 points a game. It's about 64 points roughly, give or take. And yeah, and our overall rank has increased from last week after a huge rank decrease. We're at 44,882, so it's pretty decent. Let's move on to next week's team, and then we're going to talk about some transfers, and then we're also going to quickly look at the Ben Krellin updated predictions for double game weeks. Okay, so quickly before we go into the next screen, I wanted to quickly talk about Cancelo and what happened with his family. Very unfortunate. Obviously, we do not like to see this. I hope he's okay, obviously. I think he's going to need some time off. It's a very traumatic event to happen to him and his family, so I don't expect him to be playing anytime soon. I would expect to see him get benched. I'd be very, very surprised, considering he's been playing a lot of minutes as well. I think it could be just an easy opportunity to bench him. So yeah, I don't think Cancelo is going to be playing against Arsenal, and yeah, I think it's very unfortunate for our team, but I hope that he's okay. Obviously, his well-being obviously comes before fantasy, so hope he's okay. Okay, let's quickly look at the team now for next week. So, quick look at our defense. We've got De Gea against Wolves. I think that Wolves have been pretty weak up top. They have a lot of trouble scoring. I'm hoping that Manchester United can hopefully start pulling together some clean sheets. They have been very, very poor at doing that, and I think De Gea was probably a mistake in the end, considering how poor Manchester United have been with keeping clean sheets. If Brighton do end up keeping, or if Brighton do end up getting a double game week this week, I could very well bring Sanchez in for Foster. It's something that I've been considering anyways. I think that having a dual keepers could potentially be a good thing this season, just because of how many postponements there have been. If like De Gea against Wolves gets called off, which it very well could be. I remember there was talks about it getting called off earlier in the week, so having backup goalkeeper that plays is kind of important now, especially with all the funds that we get from Salah being out of the team. I feel like spreading them to even the bench is not a bad decision. Trent Alexander-Arnold against Chelsea and James against Liverpool. James obviously will not be in the team when the game week starts because he's obviously injured. It sounds like he's gonna be out for a couple of months. Is what the reports have been. Either way, I want to get rid of the Chelsea defenders anyways. I got Liverpool, City, and I think Tottenham, and then blanks for 2 weeks. So the next 5 game weeks are absolutely atrocious. We're getting rid of them. Uh, Liverpool, on the other hand, got some good game week coming up. They could potentially be double game weeking in game week 22, so I think keeping Trent for this week is very good. And I just think that Trent is always good no matter who they're playing. Um, I think that these big games lead to less goals usually, in my opinion. They just don't. You don't see like 4-4s and stuff like that. You see like 1-0s, maybe 0-0s. So I could see a clean sheet happening for one of these two teams. Ben Davies against Watford away. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm thinking that James is probably going to come out for Reguilon. I would be very surprised if anybody else went in for him. So I could see myself doubling up into the defense for Tottenham, which sounds pretty crazy. But with Conte in, I just see us being a lot stronger defensively. Watford have been really good attacking wise, but I just think that I'm hoping at least that Tottenham can hold them off to a clean sheet. But obviously, there's a lot of factors to go into that, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe other potential transfers could happen, potentially even bringing in Robertson for Cancelo, if it sounds like that Cancelo could be out for a while. Um, Hoping he's not going to be, but obviously mental health comes first in this case, so we'll have to see where he's at. Let's move on to our midfields. Okay, so this is our midfield coming up for game week 21. We got Bowen against Crystal Palace away. Very decent fixture. Crystal Palace, I think, are a team that can be got at, and I think West Ham have been playing very well. Son against Watford away, also a very good game, like I talked about with Davies. I think that although Watford can score goals, I think they can also concede a lot of goals. So I think Son is a very good captaincy option this week. Jota against Chelsea away, like I said before, it's kind of like a 1-0 type game in my opinion. So I don't know what I'm really going to do about Jota. I want to keep him for the long term, but I don't think he's going to do very well in this game. But I don't have a lot of bench options that I can really replace him with, so I think I'm just going to have to play him and hope that he does well. Smith Rowe, Man City at home, not a great fixture. Smith Rowe is definitely somebody on the chopping block. I think I want to get rid of him pretty soon. I know he's come off the bench and scored in like every game he's played, but I don't know. Man City at home is a bad fixture. He's got a bunch of bad fixtures. Even his double game week would be terrible. It'd be like Chelsea and Tottenham, which is not a great double game week. So even keeping him for that is just not really worth it. Him to someone like Rafinha is definitely on my mind, and something that I think probably is going to happen either this game week or next game week. We'll have to see what other problems arise before the deadline. We only got one more day, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it could very well go tits up. We'll never know. Let's see our forwards. Okay, so our forward line actually gives us lots of opportunities for captaincy options. Antonio against Crystal Palace away. Antonio hasn't been really on the best of form, but I think he could potentially find his form here. Either of the West Ham boys are definitely potential captaincy options. We got Ronaldo against Wolves at home, also a very good option. Probably one of the stronger contenders between him and Son, because I think Wolves can be got at, and I think that Manchester United showed last week against Burnley that they can score goals and they can attack with some real firepower. Aston Villa against Brentford away. We saw that Brentford are pretty good defensively actually. They did quite well to only keep Man City to a 1-0 win, and I mean the only goal they scored was a very very close one with Foden. So Brentford could potentially be a hard game, but I think that Watkins can do well in that game, so I'm hoping that he can do well. When we look at our captaincy options, we are going to be putting the vice captain again on Ronaldo, and we're going to be putting the captaincy on Son. I don't know if this is necessarily the right move. I think that the odds of Son getting a double game week before the deadline is more likely than Manchester United getting a double, so that's why I think that Son is just a better captain. If they do end up getting double game week this week, like a bunch of teams get double game weeks, a free hit is definitely on the cards, but I don't think it's very likely. Or a triple captain, even if Son gets like two really good fixtures, like against like Watford and somebody else. A triple captain is definitely viable in this case. So looking at our bench, this is the reason why I wanted to preface and talk about Cancelo before we got to this point, because obviously Cancelo, it seems like he's not going to be playing the next game. I mean, if he does somehow miraculously get there and play the next game, he'll definitely be playing. He'll probably be playing over Smith Rowe, to be honest. If there's any rumors that he's going to be playing, Rudiger is pretty nailed to the bench. I think he'd probably be second after Smith Rowe. Right now, Rudiger is obviously first bench though, because Brownhill is going to be the last person to come on for us. I just think that the odds of Liverpool keeping a clean sheet are like okay, and I think the odds of Chelsea keeping a clean sheet are also like okay. So he could easily come in. I could even potentially bring him in for Davies and maybe spread my risk a little bit, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I think I'd rather just double up on a better game week than to spread my risk and potentially get burned. But yeah, so those are the options. Just to get a quick look of what I'm thinking about, if we go to my transfer page, I've already done the transfers here just to save a little bit of time. But yeah, Reguilon in and Rafinha in for a -4. I'm not sure if this is worth it. If a double game week is announced, I will do it. If a double game week is not announced, Smith Rowe is going to stay in the team most likely. I just don't think that. I don't know. I don't think that Rafinha is going to score that much more than Smith Rowe can against Man City. I know Leeds obviously playing Burnley, but like the quality of attack is much different, and I don't know. Like Arsenal are a very counterattacking team, so they're playing Manchester City. They might be able to counterattack a lot more, so maybe that might help Smith Rowe and the entire Arsenal attack. So yeah, we have to wait and see for that one. But James definitely coming out this week. Rudiger hopefully coming out soon, but not 100%. And yeah, Smith Rowe also somebody on the chopping block. These two right here are definitely people that are going to be coming out very soon. I like the rest of the team. Everybody can stay for a very long time, especially like the Manchester United boys have really good fixtures. The Tottenham lads are going to have lots of double game weeks coming up. The West Ham boys also going to have some double game weeks. Actually, same with Aston Villa. So there's a lot of double game weeks in this team that need to be rearranged. But yeah, so that just those are the boys that need to get out. And here's the reasoning for a lot of my decision making so far. This is Bren Krellin's updated predictions from 11 hours ago. As we can see, to be rescheduled into game week 21, the most likely teams that are going to be in this are Watford, Brentford, and Everton are the most likely teams to get double game weeks, while Southampton, West Ham, and Burnley also have potential, like a decent potential between like 40 and 60%. Very unlikely teams to be double game weeked are Manchester United, Brighton, Aston Villa, and Leeds, and Crystal Palace, and Wolves. So if Manchester United somehow get the double game week this week, which I don't think they will, I think it's very unlikely, um, then Ronaldo 100% getting a captain. If Leeds get the double game week confirmed before the deadline, Rafinha's coming in for Smith Rowe 100% no doubt. And that still could potentially happen even without the double game week, because if he's gonna be benched, that's even worse. He's gonna get 1 point. I almost guarantee he's gonna get 1 point if he gets benched, and I think the likelihood of that is quite high considering that's happened every single game week. So yeah, and as we can see, even if they did get a double, it'd be Tottenham and probably Chelsea or Liverpool. That's just a terrible double. Yeah, and this is why I'm looking to keep a lot of players like the Manchester United boys, Aston Villa, Brighton, or Brentford here. Going to be a great double game week for them. Tottenham right here, Arsenal, which is not great, but it could be Leicester away, or Burnley or Brighton. Like there's so many teams to be rearranged here. It's ridiculous. Um, and this is another reason why I want the Leicester boys, because West Ham and Liverpool could go here. They could have two double game weeks back to back. This is the reason I wanted to keep the Arsenal boys, but I just don't think that's gonna work. Chelsea, another reason why I thought that even Rudiger might be like not the worst thing in the world because he does have a double game week. Potential bench boost is very much on the cards. And like another reason, also Brentford or not Brentford, sorry, Brighton could also have two double game weeks if they do. If the Everton Manchester United game gets called, then I don't know. I was thinking about maybe bringing in Sanchez, but actually at that point, then De Gea would have a double game week too. So maybe potentially bring in Sanchez in the next game week. I think that a bench boost is definitely possible here, and I think that I want to keep my free hits more for blank game weeks. And yeah, obviously the Liverpool boys, they got double. They have a high likelihood of getting a double game week next week against Brentford and Leeds. So that's a fantastic fixture. Someone like Trent could also be a captaincy option. There's so many captaincy options. Triple captains are also very possible this next game week in game week 22. We just gotta wait for the fixtures to be confirmed. I'm hoping that the fixtures for game week 21 get confirmed at least by tomorrow, because if not, that is going to be a very difficult time to try to figure out what to do and who to play. I don't know how late they could possibly keep it before they start announcing these fixtures. I mean, I'm hoping that Ben Cohen gets some more information about potential ticket sales to see what games are going to go ahead and which games aren't going to go ahead. But yeah, we really got to figure out what to do here. And yeah, we can see all the postponements. Like, this is why I want to keep a lot of players. Like the Manchester United boys got lots to be rearranged. Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds. When I want to bring them in, Aston Villa. Only West Ham only have one, but they'll have a double game week either this game week or next game week. I think is kind of how the predictions work. So yeah, that is the thought process in why I want to keep certain players and why I want to get rid of them. Predicted score for this game week is 54.7. Not too bad, not too great. My predicted score for this game week is probably going to be 45. There's no double, assuming no doubles. Assuming that this is the team that goes out, minus James, replace him with Rudiger, not Rudiger, sorry, Reguilon. Replace James with Reguilon. I think that this team is likely to get like 45 points. To be honest, it's not a very good looking team, and it definitely stresses me out looking at it because there's a lot of big games that are not going to be great for us. Go if we do make the Rudiger to James or James to Rudiger James to Reguilon transfer, sorry, there'll be 1.4 million in the bank, and that will leave me with one transfer going into game week 22 because I will obviously use my one free transfer for James to somebody, which is going to be Reguilon. So yeah, that is the plan for the future. I hope that this information was helpful for you guys in any way. Please feel free to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave any comments as well about the team or your own teams. I can hopefully get back to anybody and try to help them out. And yeah, hope everyone has a good game week. I hope that the double game weeks are announced in time. And yeah, just have a good game week, everybody. Cheers, everyone.